Well, give me a minute, because I think to synthesize key messages from different angles is always good. Capitalism as such, no. Capitalism defined as the system of reckless, uncontrolled rule of the market, and with elements of the right of the jungle, where the stronger dominates. No, that system will not prevail. And frankly, I think it doesn't really exist in that form anymore. I mean, the Manchester capitalism, that's history long ago. The social market economy model, where it is applied with diligence, taking into account, so to speak, from the micro and the macro level of our constraints, I think has a good chance to prevail as the best possible system. It's always best possible. And it will differ across countries because of culture, because of history, because of institution. There is a risk that the state capitalist system will be seen as a success story to copy by more countries in the coming decades. But I think anybody who wants to follow that model has to understand also why and how it works to some extent in China, and on what conditions, and why it might not work elsewhere. So I think that that is, in a way, like we had the time between 45 and 90 was the competition between communism and Western market economies. The coming decades will be the competition between state capitalism and a more social market economy model. And it's the more complicated challenge, because the state capitalist system is the more successful one, is the better competitor, because the socialism ignored the lessons of micro and macroeconomics, soft budget constraints on the macroeconomic side and ignoring incentives on the micro side. But state capitalism doesn't do that to the same extent. It does to some extent because it keeps people out of the political market, or it keeps their involvement very controlled and very limited. And that, to my mind, economic freedom without political freedom is very difficult to marry. So I don't think that they will succeed, but it will be a great competitor and a great temptation too in many countries, perhaps even more so in developing and emerging countries, to follow that model. So we are doubly challenged internally to improve our own countries, and externally to win in that competition.